Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a short summary over the Netherlands, aka the Dutch culture. The Netherlands is a region in Western Europe. It is a very diverse population as far as religion orientation, physical characteristics, etc. Um, these people are known to be very tall, and that's about the only similar physical characteristic I could find. About 40% may have brown hair, about 40% will have blonde, and then about 17% fall into the other category. Um, these people are known as the Dutch or otherwise Netherlandic, if I'm saying that right. Many of these people can speak many languages. And this ranges from English, French, German. They love their coffee and their cheese. If you were to ever come in contact with a Dutch person, you may be kind of taken aback. They are a very blunt, to the point, no showboating attitude population. This basically just means they don't like to show overexcitement or dramatic emotion towards any situation or scenario. If you were to meet a Dutch person, the first thing you would want to do is just walk in, shake their hand, smile, just very tall, very organized, and punctual. These are all very important to the Dutch people. They are very private. They don't really like to discuss personal issues with anyone outside of the immediate family. So, building some rapport with that person, if you were to have one as a patient, would be very important. Also, assessing religious preferences would be very important if you had a Dutch person, because about 23% of the population falls into the Catholic category, about 15% fall into the Protestant, and a little under 5% will fall into the Muslim category. About 50% of this population, however, falls into an unaffiliated category. So that would be a very important aspect of your assessment in order to provide superior nursing care. These people are very evidence-based, very consensus-driven. So, for example, if a patient was being introduced to a new treatment or a new idea, it would be very likely that they would probably include close family members in on that decision. As far as the evidence-based material, they are very open to the biomedical field. However, they like to have all the evidence possible or a list of benefits, a way that a treatment is going to benefit them before they make the decision. The Dutch are also known to be able to handle pain very well. This kind of relates back to the no showboating attitude. If you were to have a Dutch patient, it's very possible that they would not appear to be in as much pain as they probably are. So it would always be important to remember that pain is what the patient says it is. This can be related to an article I found as far as childbirth. The Netherlands has one of the highest out-of-hospital birth rates in the world. It is very normal to have a home birth. And a lot of this is attributed to the fact that Dutch women are not afraid of pain. They view it as very temporary. And of course, it ends with something good. If a woman were to find out she was pregnant, she would probably go to her primary care provider or physician, and they would automatically refer her to a midwife. And most likely she would be sent home with what's called if I say this right, a crumb packet. It's basically a bag that is full of supplies necessary for a home birth. Now, if she was a high-risk mother, it'd be a little different. She would probably have the option to birth in a hospital. As far as values, education is a huge value among these people. They firmly believe that the road to success is paved by organization and education. Okay? A lot of this can be shown by about 70% of the population will receive an education after school, and about 20% will receive a higher or university level education. Now, it's shown from some studies that this plays directly into a socioeconomic status. People with a low education are about 3 times as likely to live with diabetes and about 35% more likely to have asthma. And some of this can be attributed to maybe some lifestyle factors that are attributed to a low income, such as maybe smoking or excessive drinking, just ways that they use to cope with maybe having little or no money. It has been shown that standardized mortality rates are inversely related to their socioeconomic status. For example, people with a low educational level tend to die on average about 3.5 years earlier than people with a higher education, and also have about 12 years of fewer good health than somebody with a high education. However, even though these people may fall into a low-income category, the Netherlands is a social democratic run government. These people believe that social benefits are distributed as rights, unlike the US, where that is not the case. So standard welfare laws require that the population on the lower end has the lowest amount of money they need to survive comfortably. Insurance is available to all members of the population. Most of the time, a lower income family will receive public insurance, whereas higher income usually will have a private insurance. As far as the older population, there's really no specific roles that the elderly play that I could find. However, retirement, I believe it was the age 65, is required in the Netherlands. And as they get older, surgery actually becomes the choice of the government. So the older the person gets, if they're needing surgery, it becomes the government's decision whether or not they're allowed to have their surgery. Lastly, just a few genetic anomalies that happen among the Netherlands. One of them is familial cholestasis. This is basically like a progressive liver disease where the liver is unable to secrete bile, and this builds up and it eventually causes portal hypertension, jaundice, severe itching, hepatosplenomegaly, and this normally will begin in infancy, and it's usually diagnosed in infancy or early childhood. Another one, genetic mutation, includes infantile neuronal mutation. Let me say that right too. This is a disorder that manifests after about 6 months of age, and mental development will plateau, and motor development will start to deteriorate. And this basically just causes seizures, spasticity, loss of vision, and microcephaly. And lastly, one other genetic mutation that's found among the Dutch culture specifically is triphalangeal thumb, which is basically where the thumb develops 3 phalanges instead of 2, which it's not really known to cause any issues. It's just a physical difference. And lastly, afterlife care. It's very similar to here in the US. These people may usually choose to do a burial or a cremation. If they choose a cremation, there is normally a funeral ahead of time, and with the deceased's permission, may have their ashes scattered wherever they prefer or the family deems appropriate. And that is just a small wrap on the Dutch culture, so let me know if you have any questions or want any further information. Thanks, guys.